questions get answered, if there's things that we need to address, we want to make sure that you have the right tools and the right numbers to call as soon as possible. If you're new, please pick up the items over there on the side. With us also today is Kelly Schmansky. She's with EHIM, and she's the vendor doing the wrap, so that you don't have to pay those high deductibles. They're processing those claims for Blue Cross Blue Shield. And then they're also the ones that you put money in your Section 125 account for medical expenses. They're also doing that. So first, I'll answer the two questions that Jay said first. So number one, let's talk about cards. Okay, so your medical cards that you already had, your Blue Cross Blue Shield cards, those are still good. Please continue to use those. The dental enrollment, you will get a second card from Blue Cross Blue Shield that will just have dental on it. The dental is being loaded in the Blue Cross Blue Shield system now. It was kind of a later decision, so bear with us. I will tell you that if any of you are having any dental services last week, this week, next week, by next week everybody should be loaded. There shouldn't be any issues whatsoever. We do have 3 people in our office that are here to help you. These are those little cards that are up there. And they're the claims advocates. You're going to call us if you have any questions on the medical, the dental, the vision. If you have questions on the wrap or the flexible spending account, that'll be EHIM and Kelly. But these 3 people are here to help you. I know a couple people have already called in. They said they went to the dentist didn't have their information. So they just worked with the provider. As soon as that's in, they're going to actually call the provider so that the provider either will submit the claim, so it'll be processed the way it should be, or they're going to ask Blue Cross Blue Shield to reprocess the claim if they've already submitted a claim. So that's happening behind the scenes. Please don't worry that that's not going on, because that is happening. And then I'll go through the rest of the benefits. I'm going to let Kelly talk about EHIM services and what they're doing for you, and then I'll come back again and talk about some of the other details and also some possible places you can save some money. Okay?
Good afternoon. Hi. I'm Kelly from EHIM, and we're going to be handling your wrap portion of it. So you're going to continue to use your Blue Cross Blue Shield Michigan cards. You're going to show it to the provider. The provider's going to bill Blue Cross, and that claim is going to come over to us electronically. So once they finish the claim, we get, it's a sample like of an EOB. It's a little bit different than what you receive at home. You'll still get your EOBs at home, but we get a version of it. Once we get it in our office, we're going to see any of your deductibles or co-insurances that you met, so anything that you've met up until 9/1. We'll see, we'll put it in our system. We contact the provider, we verify your balance, your account number, and where we're sending payment to. Once we do that, we cut a check directly to the provider, and then we send a copy of our sample of an EOB. We call it a Simplified Benefit Summary. It's an SBS. We send that to your home with a copy of the check that we sent to the provider. So you'll want to keep your EOB from Blue Cross, and then you'll want to keep the 2 pieces that we send you to from our office. If you ever get bills in the mail, I highly suggest you don't pay them. I would contact EHIM to make sure that we got that feed. And if we didn't, you can fax over or email over those bills that you get in the mail, and then we'll call Blue Cross to see if it was processed, and we'll get the information on how it was adjudicated.
What if we have a bill from
prior to 9/1? We also are going to be handling your run-out claims.
Okay.
So anything from last year, if you get a bill in the mail, send it over to our office, and we'll contact the provider, make sure it wasn't paid by the prior TPA, and that type of stuff.
Now your address, you said send it to your office, but there's no address
On your EHIM employee handbook, on the very bottom, has all our contact information. And the one thing about EHIM, my boss, Mindy Fink, that owns the company, she is an advocate of customer service. You will not be automated. When you call EHIM, you'll talk to a live receptionist. And then when you get your simplified benefit summary, I believe it's in the middle of the page, it'll tell you who your processor is. And when you call in, you can say, can I talk to Diane, or can I talk to Margaret? And if they're on the phone, you can ask to talk to any one of the processors, and you'll get a live person. Any questions on how those feeds will come over, or claims?
So we never have a card this time.
We can do secondary payer cards. I don't think they're needed, but we will definitely do them, and we're going to send them out. Because when you show your Blue Cross card, the feed comes to us. Some providers may say, well, you have a $5,000 deductible, and Blue Cross said, because they call Blue Cross, they don't contact us. the provider will call Blue Cross and they'll say, well, you know, they still owe $4,000. And then you can say, well, I have a third-party administrator that picks up that other. And then with those cards, you can show them, and they'll call us. Some of the providers do call us. We do have a lot of school districts around here, so they're pretty familiar with who we are. And for your FSA, we're going to be doing past claims prior to 9/1 and current. You'll just need, there's FSA forms for medical and dependent care. You can pick those up if you have any bills that came in. You can fill them out and fax them over for payments. That is not an electronic. That would be something that you would need to send up on the FSA side. Any questions? Yep.
Okay, I don't know if this is true or not, but when do we call EHIM and when do we call Brown and Brown? Like, I'm just
On your
confused.
dental and vision,
And like a general medical question or a general pharmacy question, we can help those. But if it's actually regarding a claim being processed that would have been processed through the Blue Cross system, then it's EHIM.
actually any medical claims, and then your
Yeah.
flexible spending account or dependent care.
I'm
Contact
sorry,
us.
can you just, okay, so we're, EHIM is a third-party administrator, but so is Brown and Brown?
Brown and Brown is your insurance agency.
Okay, let me put it this way, it's an easy one.
Okay.
Last couple of years we dealt with Doug Janes. Hate to say this, they are now Doug Janes.
But we're much better than Doug
Brown,
James.
Brown.
Doug's out of the picture.
Yes, Brown and Brown is.
They have replaced Doug Janes.
So Brown and Brown deals with,
We write, we're the agent for the Blue Cross medical, drug, dental, vision, life, disability. Okay, but EHIM actually processes your medical claims. Like you have that $5,000, $10,000 deductible. And so Blue Cross Blue Shield sends them the file feeds whenever you have a data service or a claim, and they process the difference that wasn't paid.
yeah,
Okay, but if you had just a general benefit question, trying to understand, you know, where can I go for service, or what is my office visit copay, or what's my pharmacy copay, or how does pharmacy work, you can call us.
Brown
We can
and
help
Brown.
you with that, Brown and Brown,
Okay.
yeah.
Any other questions?
So you said we're gonna get a secondary card, but we won't have to show it unless somebody questioned us on.
Yeah, unless they were,
really have the
like if you were to
deductible.
have a procedure done and they wanted payment up front, you can show them that card. Or you can show them both. You can show them your Blue Cross card and you can say this is a secondary payer card. And it has all our information on it. I should have them FedExed out tomorrow.
And I think I heard you say that with the family flexible spending account, if we have that, we have to fill a form out and send it to you?
Yes.
To get money back.
Yep, and those forms are right up here. There's the medical and then the dependent care.
And that's for those of you who put extra money out of your paycheck to pay for extra things like additional dental, vision, or pharmacy copays. That's what the Section 125 or flexible spending account is.
I will say with the flexible spending, you know, we need an itemized receipt. So if you just send us, like if you went to the dentist and you just sent us, you know, like the printed out receipt, if you swiped like a Visa or MasterCard, and it just says $135, we have to have the backup for it. We have to see the itemized to make sure that it's legitimate, because if it gets audited,
By the IRS.
right, by the IRS, we need to make sure that everybody's covered.
So we need to make copies of that form? I haven't really looked at it, but if we were to have more than one time through the year.
Oh,
we'd send it,
absolutely.
So we would
And
want
you
to
can
make
go
copies.
online and pull them up too.
Oh, okay.
You can, are they mail receipts, or how do they get when, is everybody direct deposit for the reimbursement?
No, they'll get a check.
And when they get the check, do they get a reimbursement for with it? Sometimes some vendors do, some don't.
We can do that, I can arrange that, that's not a problem. If you want, when you guys get a check, I can make sure that reimbursement forms get put in there, absolutely.
Yeah, but you can always go to ehim.com at any time, and the forms are there too, right?
No,
Oh, they're not on?
no.
Oh, okay.
I
We'll
can
make them
send them
available so
electronically.
that they're available and the school has them.
Yeah, I can send them electronically,